Hey guys, it's Simply Rayne, and here's a snippet of my original single, Don't Stop, featuring Baby Bash on the I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio.
Don't stop when I tell you going bad, baby. Look what you done. Don't stop when I tell you going bad, baby. Look what you done. Don't stop when I tell you going.
You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast with your host, Shemaya Reed. This podcast is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. Now, let's tune into today's podcast.
This is I Am Refocused podcast, and today we have the one and only back again, Simply Rayne. She is in the building.
Yes, hello everybody.
So if y'all don't know by now, she has recently released a song with Baby Bash, Don't Stop, and it's doing really well. So tell us about that project.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you for having me again.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure. But yes, I just released my brand new single, Don't Stop, featuring Baby Bash. And that's definitely like a project that's, dang, this is some good stuff. Like,
that's a major plug right there.
Thank you. I'm really proud of this song, and I just feel like it's a step up from all the rest of my songs. I love my other songs, but this one, it's kind of like, okay, she's growing as an artist. You can tell it just sounds like more radio ready, if you know what I mean.
So how did you meet Baby Bash? How that all come together?
Sure. So my producers, actually, they were the ones that got me in contact with Baby Bash. They were kind of like, you know what would be real hot if we were able to get someone like Baby Bash on your check. And I was like, that sounds like something we should, try to work up. So they have the connections, and they're tight with the uncle. So we reached out, and they're like, yeah, he'd be down to do a collab with you. And that's how we kind of got in contact with him. So once we got that first step to say, yes, he's willing to do a collab, that's when we finally got all the dates and times together, and okay, let's start making the song.
And Don't Stop, tell us what's the backdrop of that whole song. Tell us a little story about that.
You know what? Don't Stop, I actually wrote it about somebody at the moment, because I was kind of like, I don't want to give myself away too much because then it's going to like come out. But the song is basically about kind of having this love for like dance and music, but kind of like your love for that person is with the dance in a way. It's kind of odd to explain it. I never really try to explain this song, but it can be interpreted in many different ways. I mean, don't stop with the dancing, don't stop loving me. It's like when you get in a relationship, keep doing the things that made me want to stay with you get with you in the first place. That's kind of what this song is like. That's the main meaning about it.
And tell us, like, when you got in the studio the first time with Baby Bash, what was it like? Was it like you take your turn, I take my turn, or how did it flow?
What? It was actually a process of. There was multiple studio sessions before I finally got with him. So the first studio session was just me getting with the producers, figuring out, what do you want this song to sound like? What do you want this? I came with ideas and melodies and lyrics, and then they helped me, let's break it down and let's get the skeleton, the core of the song. Okay, it's an A minor. Cool, let's do that. Let's figure out, let's just get it put together even more. And it was funny because before I recorded the song that everyone hears as Don't Stop Now, it was a totally different song, different melody, different lyrics. And I mean, the meaning was pretty much the same, but it was just totally different. And I did, the original, before, okay. But when he finally heard the song, it was like, he said, yeah, this is a catchy chorus, right? Because he had came with two other artists, so they were really vibing with us in the studio as well. And he's like, this is a catchy chorus, but I think the verses are a little too singy, a little too jazzy sounding. I was like, oh snap! He's like, because you want to make it like A B C D E F G, but still not like stupid, but like catchy enough for people to like. Yeah. So we ended up. He went and recorded his part, and he just had me go in the booth and vibe a little bit, and his artists were coming up with some ideas as well, kind of like, you can go in this direction. And it was interesting because that was kind of like my first time really collaborating with songwriting with other people.
Other people.
Yeah, like part of like the industry, you know what I mean?
Oh, Baby Bash, yeah, that's pretty good right there.
Yeah.
I mean, what were some of the things that he taught you during this whole process of developing? Because like you said, it started out this way, but then it blossomed to this final product.
Yes, I honestly believe that what I learned out of working with him was just let your mind be free. If you have an idea, go lay it. Before, I'd be like, no, I'm not laying anything until like I go home and practice it, and then I'm gonna come back and lay it. Like, for me, I'm so structured, like it needs to be perfect before I let anyone hear it. So with him, he came in the studio, he was just chilling, vibing. He's like, la 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 la. Like, oh, go lay that. I'm like, okay, cool. And it was just a bunch of us just making up lyrics and let's do this, let's do that, replay that, loop it again. So yeah, it was just getting out of my comfort zone and just doing stuff in the moment and letting that be free.
And speaking of comfort zone and getting out of your comfort zone and having that freedom in music, you know, you're doing a lot. I mean, with this collab with Baby Bash, this is another step up, like you said in the beginning of the segment. What are some of the things that you want to see after this project?
You know what? I would love to just see, I'm taking what I've learned from Baby Bash and I'm applying it to my new projects with the tips he gave me about the songs. Let's make it simple but catchy, but still have like an element of your artistry to it. And just growing as an artist overall. That's what I kind of see.
I mean, the cool thing is Simply Rayne is in this music industry. You know, you're not out of the industry.
Right.
You're right in the middle.
Right in it. Exactly.
I mean, it's like we have grown up with you.
I know.
That's what it feels like.
It really does.
And
I had to take a step back when we finally finished the final product because, like I said, Baby Bash played his part and he's like, all right, I'm gonna go back to the hotel, go to sleep, it's time to go to bed. He's like, but you take what I kind of gave you and you go back and you come up with something. So I went back home and I came up with a whole new melody, whole new lyrics. And so we went to Houston and we recorded the final version that you guys hear now.
You went to Houston?
Yes.
So you're going in different cities
on
this
project? Yes, sir. He's like, let's get you down in Houston and record this.
That's when you know you're doing it big because a lot of times when you're on the come up, it's just, I'm going to the bathroom to record the vocals.
Yeah.
You know, the humble beginnings.
You got to have those beginnings. I definitely had those beginnings. Just like an apartment right here, and let's just sing it. No correct, producing, nothing like that. But so we went to Houston. We finished the final cut, and I got it done within like less than an hour, like, because I knew what I wanted. He came in after, and he's like, all right, let's get started. I'm like, Bash, the song's done now. We finished the song. He's like, okay, let's get barbecue. So it was like real cool being able to just finally hear the final version, and it lets me know I'm doing something right because I can go back and listen to my music when I'm 16, even when I'm 18.
And see it grow.
Yes.
And it's funny because it's just almost like the analogy of what you said earlier about it started at this point and blossoms to this point. Well, that's the same thing with your career right now.
Yes.
You know, it's getting bigger and bigger. Every time we get you back on the show, it's always something new.
And that's
it's always an upgrade.
That's something that I always want to make sure that's happening. Like, I'm continually growing. I'm never like just stuck in one place. Because first of all, I'm a Virgo. Okay, sorry. Yes, I love horoscopes and stuff like that. But like, I just do not like being stuck in one place at all. Like, if there's no growth happening, I'm sad.
And with this project, how has your marketing changed too?
Oh my goodness.
Because it's not like you get upgrading a song and everything else approaches. It's the same. So
exactly.
How's your marketing been changing?
You know what? There's always a story with something. We were eating out with Bash, and he, asked the question, what's your ethnicity? Okay, well, my parents were there, and my mama goes on, tells him a little bit, here, this, she this, she that, she this. And he's like, Afro-tina. and my mom's like, that's what I call her, Afro-Latina. He's like, no, but you need to just say Afro-tina. He's like, oh, dang, that could be something. You guys need to trademark that, trademark it right now. We need to use it because you know what? I know people that will take that and use it for themselves. So he pushed us to use that as our new brand name. So right now I'm really big on, connecting with my Latin roots, my Latina roots, and African American roots. It's really important for me as an artist to connect with all different types of, races, cultures. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I just thought that was real cool. I'm like, you know what? It's true. I am Afro-Latina. I'm African American, and it's like, why not use that to my advantage? So it's Afro-tina right now.
And how has your fan base reacted to this new song? Because they're kind of used to the younger Simply Rayne. Now you're growing up. How's the feedback right now from your fans?
They're always really positive about all the type of music I make, but I don't think it's completely hit them yet because the music video hasn't been released to Don't Stop. Yeah. But I've gained a lot more monthly listeners on Spotify, and I've received a lot of great feedback, not only from my fans but from DJs. Yeah. We were able to put the song in DJ pools, and it actually debuted #1 on Kings of Spins the first day it released. Yeah. So I'm getting a lot of great positive feedback from different DJs around different states, and we're gonna bump this, we're gonna do this, but they can tell as well, this is this is a step up from your other music. So,
and speaking of DJs, what was some of the things that you've been learning? Because that's a whole new game when you can have access to DJs who they're your front line.
Yes, you know what? It's crazy. It is a whole nother ballgame. Just with dealing with radio, distribution, all of that stuff is totally different from
having access.
There's so much that it's like new artists sometimes don't get that there's this aspect of it and then there's this aspect of it. But my parents, they're very involved with the business part, especially my dad. So I'm learning this stuff while I'm being in it, So it's different because it's brand new for me, but it's nothing that you can't pick up. It's definitely something.
Shout out to those DJs who playing those songs.
Yes.
That's a big part of the game right there.
I got to shout it out. Corpus in San Francisco, Las Vegas.
That's nice.
El Paso, yeah.
And too, with Baby Bash, has he coached you as far as building those relationships with those DJs and clubs and stuff like that?
He's the one that actually brought up the whole distribution part of it in the first place. He's like, the first day we sat down to record the song, he's like, all right, distribution, what we gonna do? And that was something new for us at the time. We're like, oh snap, okay, yeah, this is, but we knew the minute we knew that we're gonna have Baby Bash on this song, we were like, this is not a song we're gonna play around with. This is gonna be the one that we're going to really make that movement on.
And, once again, there's artists out there. We are talking to Simply Rayne, if you just joined us today. There's artists out there who going to be hungry just like you.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get back into that education mode. Say an artist wants to make a collab like you did with a rapper or whatever. What's the first thing they need to have in place before they just knock on the door?
First thing you want to have in place when it comes to collabing, and there could be a major artist or not major artist. I honestly think that if you're looking to make this song, if you have in the back of your mind that you want this song to become something in the future, right? You will get you revenue, in the future. You need to obviously have some type of contract laid out before you even start. Even if it's not a huge artist, even if you're just getting started, why not practice the correct business ways when you first start? Because you do not want to get caught up in the future if the song blows up and you're stuck and you can't get the royalties you're supposed to get and all this stuff.
All you get is a little credit.
Just a little something. There you go. No, that needs to all be split up before you even start. Yeah. We had an agreement before we even recorded the song with the producers. This is that. All right, cool. Yeah, and if you're doing favors for each other, let it be known. Don't just...
It's crucial,
can't just handshake on it.
You can do it after you lay the vocals down, right?
Right, no.
And when it comes to just learning the whole game in the music industry, you have your parents supporting you 100%, 110%, I would say.
Oh, my God, crazy.
How has that grown in itself? Because it's you're blowing up even more, you're getting even greater artists that are jumping on the same trip with you.
Yes.
Was that like were your parents growing with you as artists?
It really is like a major blessing for that to even, to have such supportive parents. It's become a thing to where it's like my parents are there's always a meeting about Simply Rayne every day. There's not one day that goes by where they're not talking about Simply Rayne. And yes, because anyone who knows me knows that's just my stage name, so I call her Simply Rayne. But yeah, no, every day there's something. We're strategizing. What's next? We're never just sitting around and waiting for something, because you don't wait for your opportunities. You go chase them. And if you get one opportunity, cool, I'm going to keep that right here, but I'm going to go try to get this one over here as well. So I just think seeing my parents be so hungry for me as well, it motivates me even more. Like, I can't have them be more hungry than I am, and that's what I try to keep in the back of my mind all the time.
Because that is a balance, because if one side is hungry but the other side is sleeping, you got to wake that side up.
That's what they always tell me. We can get you this far, but when it comes to what you need to do, we can't do that half for you. So you need to be right there kicking butt when it's time.
And let's dig on that before we end this first segment. Sure. Say artists out there, we kind of touched this on the last time you came on the show. Yeah. But say you're like, man, I'm trying to collab, but it's just not working out. What words of wisdom will you give to an artist who's hungry, but they're just not seeing the results?
So, I honestly believe if you're not seeing results, maybe that's just a growth thing. Maybe you need to just kind of dig a little deeper and truly find out what type of artist you want to be. I'm still trying to figure, I have a pretty solid idea of where I'm going, but I grow up, things change. It's okay. And you also want to be authentic. You don't want to be like everybody else. Yeah. That's another thing. You probably aren't getting
That's true.
The recognition you want. Too much noise, and there's too much of one thing and not enough of another. So I think it's just being confident in yourself, finding your way, and then you keep going. You can't stop. You really can't. That's why I'm not stopping right now, because I'm still a baby in the industry. So
you're still a baby, man. I mean, like I said, it feels like we have grown up with you in your career, and I always ask this every time you go on the show, because I just want to see it happen. If you can collab with someone, after the show, someone's gonna call you up, hey, who would you collab with right now in the game?
Oh, snap. You know what? It's gonna sound crazy, but I really love me some Nicki Minaj on the low.
Really?
Yes, I'm not even kidding.
Whoa.
She's like LLC. Honestly, I like her. I really do. My friend put me on her, because at first I was like, okay, Nicki Minaj, cool. But then it's just I don't know. She's kind of like a boss. I like it.
Man, so you're going to get into more of this hip-hop a little bit.
I feel like collaborations like that, they're very helpful. But you know what? I'm sorry. If I'm talking singing-wise, I love my Beyonce, but hold on. That's going to take some time. I would definitely collab with LMA, the Boot Up girl.
Okay.
She's good. Okay. I like her.
All right.
Or her. Or SZA. Sorry. There's so many, honestly, that I really like a lot.
And speaking of major artists, what's some of the things that you pull from them as far as inspiration? Because we always talk about the whole aspect of everyone has the same 24 hours is how you apply those minutes.
Yeah, no time waits for no man.
Exactly. What's some of the things you pull from these hot artists today as far as work ethic, as far as creativity and ideas?
So what I pull from them is I listen real closely, not that I'm trying to copy, but I just listen closely on how, they're, same thing Bash said, their melodies, they're very simple, but there's still enough for, that it's not so simple that it's just, yeah. So that's one thing that I look at with these artists nowadays that are really popular. It's like, okay, this stuff, it gets stuck in your head like that. And it's not that there's nothing to it, but they just know how to, make a really great song that you can't get out of your head. So that's something that I always try to keep in the back of my mind if I'm songwriting. It needs to stay catchy. And then I can always come back to, all the R&B and soulful stuff later on in the future. But right now, it is about connecting with all different types of people.
And speaking of songwriting, that is a whole different situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can have your vocals down.
Right.
But if your writing game is not on point.
Oh, ghostwriter. No, literally, I love writing. And I think it's because I love just reading. In general, I write in like journals all the time. If you told me, oh, you got to do this math test or write a 5-page essay, give me that essay because I will write it. No, but I love songwriting. Like 3 days ago, I was just up in the room and I have those moments where they just hit me. And if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, Mom, I can't go to bed. Like the juices are just flowing. Like that's that. But I enjoy songwriting so much.
See, what I'm hearing right now, this all tying together perfectly.
Beautiful.
It's preparation. Because a lot of artists that are trying to come up, that preparation is not there.
You know what?
Can you imagine if you went to the studio with Baby Bass and you forgot your lyrics?
Honestly, that would never happen. That would never happen. My dad always tells me a saying, and it is preparation equals habit equals skill. There's not a day that goes by where he does not tell me that. So that's just kind of ingrained in my head, that preparation equals habit equals skill. And I've noticed that even when I don't think I'm practicing, I'm practicing. So it could just be with writing, it could be with singing, it could be just listening to music. Yes. Yeah. So I just think even if you don't feel like you're practicing something, you probably are practicing something. And
that's good, because I was just going to jump in and say either you're practicing good habits or bad habits. Either way, it's a habit.
Either way, it's a habit. But
wake up late. Yeah. That's a habit.
That's a habit.
Wake up early. That's a habit.
And it's just like you got to know which ones are good and bad. So for me, I know if I'm watching a video on like music theory and they're telling me chords and stuff, even though I'm not over there playing the piano with it, I'm still practicing, I'm still watching, I'm still taking in that knowledge of what the people in the video are telling me. So that's a habit.
And you play an instrument, right?
I play, but I'm not like Alicia Keys.
That's okay. Practice makes perfect.
I went to Berkeley School of Music. I'm still with them. But yeah, I learned, my music theory, basic ear training, voice technique. So I love being able to apply that in the real world industry that I'm working with right now.
Because that was going to be my next question. If you had an opportunity to create a song with an instrument, what would you play?
You know what? It'd have to be piano, but I really want to learn how to play the guitar. I just don't have
I can see that.
I know, that's so cool. I can
see that.
Just chill and
playing those nice R&B chords.
I'm gonna learn now. Oh my gosh! But no, I definitely piano. That's something I'm very comfortable with. I can just sit down, dabble on it a little bit,
And going back to this marketing game, using all social media, all these platforms. As you have grown over these years, pushing your music out, what is your favorite platform to expose your new music? Or does it all work?
Honestly, yeah, all platforms work, but I have a favorite. I love Instagram. Yeah. That's one thing that you can catch me on all the time. I'm right there with it. But I have my managers manage, Facebook and Twitter. I'll get on it every once in a while, but for the most part, Instagram, that's mine.
Instagram has that instant connection.
Yeah.
Especially when you're making videos on the fly. Like, hey, just got out the studio. Or, hey, about getting the vocal booth.
Yes,
there's nothing about that instant connection. Because Facebook, too, they're trying to incorporate the live more and all that. But Instagram...
There's so much. They have, like, Snapchat and Instagram. Right,
they
stories.
Got IGTV now.
And I'm about to post on that. I'm going to.
Because I need...
I'm going to. I swear I am. I just did some behind-the-scenes footage from... the music video. We'll get into that later. But yeah, no, that's going to be one of the first videos I use for...
Because that's the future right there. IGTV is like the next YouTube.
Like, I'm going to take advantage of that.
I think it's maximum 10 minutes that you can have.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because I have like a 7-minute video. I'm like, y'all are going to watch this, okay? Yeah.
Before we end this segment, we've got a couple minutes left. I want to dabble into this music video.
Oh, snap.
Because you have a music video going for Don't Stop. I know you can't give too much information, but what can you tell us about this project?
Well, hopefully I don't go over. This project, I'm like debating, should we wait for the next segment? Because honestly, yes, the music video is coming very soon. It is going to be released this month, For sure. I don't want to give you an exact date, but I believe next week.
It's coming soon.
Yes.
You got to follow her on Instagram. That's what you got to do.
This is the time you guys got to follow me. I just finished doing like a quick final editing review of it yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So it's looking great. We're just finishing up some last touches. And the video should be released like next week, I believe.
Man, that's a cliffhanger, and we do that on purpose on the show.
It.
So if you want to find out when this drops, what's your Instagram?
You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Simply Rayne. That's SimplyRayne. Go check it out. Go listen to that new song right now because the video's coming.
And the video's coming, so if you want more information, I can't give it. You're going to have to follow her because that's how it works in marketing. You want more information, you're going to have to go and make that extra step.
Yes.
So we're going to end this first segment. We're coming right back after this commercial break. You're listening to I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes. I'm not going to name drop, but it's everywhere. So, man, we'll be right back. We're talking to Miss Simply Rayne. Don't touch that iPhone. We're coming back soon.
Welcome to Rockefeller's Barbershop. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will be blessed and be glad in Him. Today I want to introduce myself. My name is Rico Rodriguez at Rockefeller's Barbershop here in San Antonio, Texas, 1733 Babcock Road. My phone number is 210-782-5188. And again, we do walk-ins on Sundays. You are listening to I Am Refocused podcast on iHeartRadio. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Does your website need more traffic? Well, visit overflowcafe.com today. They make websites popular, and over 41,000 people use their service to gain more customers. They are winning our business. What about you? Visit overflowcafe.com today.
Hey, we are back. This is I Am Refocused podcast. I'm here with Simply Rayne, and yeah, you heard that commercial break. My big boy, Mr. Rico Rodriguez. If you're here in San Antonio, Rockefeller's Barbershop, make sure you come here, get your hair cut. The best in town, best fam in town, man, since day one. So back to Simply Rayne, man.
Hello.
Check this out. I heard that you got some big news going on, and I also heard that Baby Bass hooked you up with an opportunity. Tell us about that.
Sure.
What happened?
Yeah. So you know what? One connection leads to another. That's what we call it. So I was actually invited to open up for the original Lakeside out in Dinuba, California through Uncle Bash's, I'm sorry, I said Baby Bash's uncle. Mixing my words up.
Oh, that's cool.
But that was honestly a really great opportunity for me.
Do you ever get nervous when stuff like this happens? Or are you just like, man, it's about time, like, let me get out there?
It's a mix. I'm like, okay, it's about time, because these are the type of performances that I'm like, ooh, I'm leaving my hometown, so I call these like for real performances, like the ones I'm about to put in my books, like, hey, here we go, we got this.
That's a new opportunity.
Yes, and I'm opening up for like, someone who's up there, so I'm like,
up there, man.
Exactly, Lakeside, and it was funny because I knew who they were before I knew who they were, if you know what I mean. I was obsessed with that movie, Johnson Family Road Trip, when I was like 7 years old. So at the end, they're always playing Fantastic Voyage. I'm like, oh my God. They're the group. So it was really fun. It was such a nice day outside, and it was great connecting with the different people in California. I was like, hello. We brought the rain to Cali, and at the end of the performance, they brought me back up on stage to, close out the show with them.
Really?
Yes.
And was that in the whole program? They just said, yo, we want her back.
That was not planned at all, but I think they saw me jamming out on the side of the stage, and, we got one of the, Willie, that's his name, brought me up. He's like, hey, come here. So got up there, started jamming out in the crowd. It was just like, ooh. And then, got to meet all the band members.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm sure a lot of people in San Antonio say the very same thing, because just like I said in the first half of the show, seeing you just get into this and seeing your parents have your back 100%,
yes.
Not 50%, but 100.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty amazing to see that growth.
Yes.
Short term. We're not talking about 10 years later.
Ooh, no.
We're talking about hear my fingers snapping. We're talking about like super fast.
Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, that did happen pretty quickly. Like,
It's not easy.
it's not at all. So
It's not easy.
and it's not like overnight type of thing. Like, it really is just staying consistent with your brand, your quality of the production on everything, and you know, once you hit a certain level, you can't go back down. Like how we do.
I like that. You need to put that on a T-shirt.
Ooh,
man.
yes. I'm saying like
Man.
lines now. Oh
You
my
need to put
God.
that on a T-shirt.
I
man.
will.
Trademark that.
That's something, bro. You got to keep that in your head, because when I did How We Do when I was 16, that was a major step up for me. That was like one of my like points where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm working for real in this industry, and you couldn't go back down from that. If you see the quality of that music video, there is no way I could go back down to
I mean,
the level that I was at before.
you work with Baby Bash. I mean, now you have stuff on your portfolio where it's
yeah.
like, hey, it's business now.
It really is.
This is not I'm just doing it for fun.
Nope. And that's very true. I actually attended it was kind of like a talent show. Well, actually a talent convention back in July, and it was called Expo. So basically it's kind of like a major, like I said, a convention, and I get to act and perform in front of different A&Rs and different agents, and we get callbacks at the end of the whole week of performing and stuff, and I get to sit down one-on-one with these people and talk to them, and there was a major growth between, because I did something like this when I was 14, so there was a major growth between what I was able to speak about from when I was 14 years old, just saying, when they ask, what do you like to do? Like, why do you want to sing? And I'd be like, because I really like it. Nah, I sat down with these people, we were talking branding, business. I was like, look, I already established myself as Afro-tina. I know y'all could do something with this, all right? So I was digging in deeper than what they'd expect. Like, they're like, why are you here? Oh my gosh, how do you know this stuff? Well, I don't play when it comes to
do my homework.
Well, I do my homework. You gonna help me? But yeah.
No, that's real, because that's when you know you're growing, when you're actually studying your profession.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times you can get stuck only because of the fact that you're not growing yourself from inside. Because if you're not reading, if you're not studying as artists, if you're not with Baby Bash and learning and appreciating his
what he's giving
way
you, the
he's
knowledge.
pointing you in the direction.
Exactly.
Because he can point you in the right direction, and you can ignore it and say, I know it.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, the door closes.
And that's one thing I wanted to make sure I didn't do, was when we went into that studio and it was just a bunch of everything, and I was like, whoa, not used to like this crazy collaboration. I didn't put myself in that, that hole of like, no, this is my song anyways. Like, at the end of the day, it's my song, and if I don't want to do this, I'm not going to do it. No, I took that advice and I ran with it, and the song it turned out great. So
that's a great, man, you got bars to that, man, because a lot of people, they take the advice and they just drop it off.
And no, I couldn't do that. I'm like, do not become that type of person, girl. Do not.
Because you're picking up different tools and you're putting in your toolbox, and you're on this journey in the music career. But breaking news, I was at some like theme music something coming on right now. We have some breaking news. I heard from your mom.
Yes.
Somebody is starting to become an actress.
Oh,
What's
God.
up with this, man?
You know what? There's nothing wrong with dibbling and dabbling in a little bit of everything. Well, from this talent convention expo, I was picked up, and I got signed with a talent agency out of Dallas. They're called Campbell Agency, and I love them. They're already family, but I'm signed underneath their acting and film. So yeah, they've been throwing different casting calls at me and everything. So
what has been, I mean, you're brand new to this, but what has been the difference have you seen versus being an actress in the music industry? What have you seen right off the jump?
Well, off the jump, I want to say, because I haven't really got too much into acting yet to be able to be like, oh, this is totally different from. I've been on sets and stuff, but if we're talking about real time, like a type of Netflix type of thing, I haven't done something like that yet. But I want to say, I think acting for me is a lot more laid back. It's fun being able to do different characters, and your character has to be mean and stuck up, or you have to be kind of ditzy here. But I really like switching up my personality. That sounds weird, but I really do.
That's really good for Hollywood, because that's kind of like crucial.
Yeah,
point.
and honestly, like with my performing, I have such a certain brand, like a particular brand. On this is me. This is what I got to look like all the time. This is how I got to perform all the time. So acting is definitely a lot more laid back.
You remember that show on Nickelodeon?
Let's see.
Was it Tina or something like that?
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm talking about? This, something like that. You know
it's like a 90s show?
Yeah.
And yes.
I'm sitting here thinking about, man, you got these opportunities like, shoot, they can be a Simply Rayne on Nickelodeon.
Hello.
You know
Come on, I can make a dance song like Moesha. Like, let me do it.
I can see you doing that, Simply Rayne, or if you have another name or something. But
let's go. Let's get me a show.
Nickelodeon, if you listen to this podcast, you can contact her management team,
Disney,
her mom.
Anybody? Come on.
Because you never know. This can be big. I know this is going to be big.
Yes.
I'm gonna just go dive into this because I like where it's heading.
Yes.
If you could be featured as a guest actress on any show or any movie.
Oh, man.
And they were going to call you within a month, what would you want to do?
Oh, my God. You hit me with it. Let's see. I'm going through all my Netflix movies right now. And, oh, man. Is it crazy that I never thought of this? But I really enjoy, like, the Netflix original movies, like kind of the cute type of, kind of like that new movie that came out. It was called To All the Boys I Ever Loved. Have you seen that movie yet? Yeah, I'm sure some of you guys have seen it. But I really like those styles of movies. I feel like I'd really be able to fit in well with that type of stuff. Let's see. That's what I can think of right now. Man, I'm going to have to come back with that.
Oh, that's no problem, because the reason why I want to talk about this, because a lot of times when you jump into something, it's just like when you get into the music industry.
Yeah.
You don't just get in there and sit.
Nope.
You get in there.
Nope.
And like you said earlier in the first half,
first time.
chase those opportunities.
Yep, because even though you get that call back the first time doesn't mean you're going to officially get the next call back. Like, there's multiple steps to getting that gig and locking it in.
Because who knows, you get into this acting game, you end up being a filmmaker.
Oh my gosh.
You see what I'm saying?
I love videography anyways.
There's levels to this.
There is. There's levels to this.
That's a song, but y'all know what's up.
We won't finish out the lyrics.
But what's crazy is, you started as just wanting to be in the industry in music. And as you follow your story, you're seeing all these different upgrades, updates.
Opportunities and everything.
And what I've seen is, like you said in the first half, consistency. Because if you don't be consistent for every opportunity, what happens is
fall back a little bit.
A little too laid back, a little too comfortable.
A little too comfortable.
That's when you know you're not making progress, when you get sleepy.
I've had some moments where my parents had to tell me, girlfriend, you're getting a little too comfortable. You need to, fix it up. You need to get back up there and start kicking butt again. So, but I feel like that happens everybody. It happens to everybody. You get a setback and you gotta refocus. And then get back into it again. So it's part of life, part of growing, and part of knowing, okay, I can't stay here forever, so I gotta elevate now.
If you can think, I'm putting you on the spot the rest of the show, but if you can think of one moment where it all clicked.
Okay.
When was that moment?
Let's see. When it just all clicked on...
It came together, like, this is what I'm going to do for my life.
We're talking about before I even had any connections, and I can remember that moment. I was, I don't know if you know this, but I actually started out with acting and modeling before I even started singing. But I remember this moment. It clicked when I was 13 years old, 12, 13, and I was like... I feel like if I were a singer and I put in that effort to be a performing artist, which I've always loved performing to begin with, because my parents, they always good music all the time, so that was always part of me. I was like, if I pursued this as like my career, I feel like I could really do something with it. And that clicked when I was 13 years old, and believe it or not, I've always loved anything entertainment, and I don't see myself doing anything else but something with entertainment, whether it's performing, like acting, modeling, being some type of A&R, being like, it has to do something with the entertainment business, because that's just where my mind is. That's where my creative juices are able to flow. Like, I can give some good ideas on that type of stuff.
Because we want to ask that because there's a lot of people out there who may have not experienced that moment where it all clicked. Because just like you said, at that moment, at that time, that's when you started to pursue. That's when you started to get hungry. And there's a lot of times where people get hungry, but they're afraid to eat.
Ooh, and I had that moment. I was very scared to eat at first because I was not a singer. So I was so scared to even sing one note in front of, like, my mom. And I told her, Mom, I want to be a singer. She said, girl, what? You want to sing? Okay. I said, but I need vocal lessons. She's like, well, are you really serious? Like, you actually want to try singing? Like, she didn't really take, because my sister did the singing at first, but she said, okay, they never crush on the dreams at all. They support it, but until we start showing that we're for real serious about it, that's when they'll then, support it 100%. So they put me into my vocal lessons, and that was my moment where I had to, like, not be scared to eat, So, and
man, I'm doing that Diddy.
Yes, Diddy, right?
Khaled,
and I can
that
just
for show. Eat.
Yes,
eat,
I can remember. I was so hungry at 13. Like, I'm still hungry, but that was like the hunger I needed to get me over that hump of, like, okay, this is for real, to my parents. I was constantly asking Mom, can you find me somewhere to perform? Mom, can you call them? Can I perform? Like, even though I had no idea that, like, it didn't work that way, I just asked her, Mom, I want to perform this Saturday. Mom, can you find me a gig? Can you find me a gig? She would do everything she could just to find somewhere for me to sing my little behind somewhere. Literally.
I mean, this is very interesting because a lot of times people, they have a starting point, but instead of finding a target, they take their darts and they just throw it.
Ooh.
That's dangerous. Number one, you can hurt somebody.
Yeah, you can hurt somebody.
You can hurt yourself. But the difference between someone who makes it and the one that doesn't ever make it is because that other person made that decision.
Let them know, They
made that target.
Yes.
And that's their only focus.
It's funny because my dad, here he comes again with these sayings. He says the person who, there could be someone who has so much talent, right, but little work ethic. And then there could be someone with, okay, not as well as talent as the other person, but so much work ethic, and they will make it, versus the one who has the best talent, right, but no work ethic. So it really is about how hungry you are and how much you're willing to go after it and not give up. I mean, if you really are that good and you have something that new that you can bring to the industry, which I believe I do have, go do it.
And the key thing is bring yourself.
Bring yourself. That's right. You have to.
Like you said in the first half of the show, if you don't know who you are, no one else knows who you are either. Nope, and that's one Even
thing.
if you show up, like, who are you?
Yeah, and I try to, exactly, like, well, what do you do? And I try to keep it very, I try to keep it interesting when people ask me, like, what type of music do you make? Like, I don't just want to say, R&B. So I came up with the thing, I say R&P, like R&B and pop, kind of like this, but hold up, I'm kind of hitting that mainstream type of thing, There needs to be a little something, like a flavor to it. That way people know, okay.
And let's touch on that, too, because it's one thing to create art.
Yes.
But it's another thing to appreciate art, if you know what I mean. Because a lot of times it can be in different fields, not just music and film. It can be anybody's profession.
Yeah.
If you can't push yourself to be creative to the point that you appreciate the process of creating, it's the same thing. Like, you just really become no flavor.
And exactly.
It's like water.
Oh my gosh. And there's so many aspects of it when it comes to the industry. Like, there's being creative in your video process, there's being creative in your writing process, and your vocal process, your performing process. And I am a part of all of that. Like, I live for creativity, honestly. And I know we're gonna leave this at a cliffhanger, the Don't Stop music video, but I have to throw this in here real quick.
It's worth the wait.
Yes.
It's like Christmas. You can't celebrate until the 25th.
honestly, the creative process for that video was, I really enjoyed just coming up with the concept of it. And I have my best friend, he's my creative director, I like to call him Mr. T-Bird, but he came up with the choreo for it, and we came up with visuals and just how we wanted. Did you see any of the behind the scenes photos with the girls with the afros?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. For me, even though, we don't have a huge budget to make like Beyonce videos, I just think starting somewhere and letting people know I'm the type of artist where I want to visually please these people and be like, oh, wow, she's bringing something like...
I'm on my way.
Yeah, when you hear the song, you're probably going to think of like a club setting, but nah, I was not about to have a club setting in the video. Like, I want my Afro-tinas, I want this, I want that. And that's the same thing with what you're worried about. It was all about, showing San Antonio in a different, from a different point of view, and that's why I think it got picked up to be a part of the San Antonio Film Festival.
I always like dropping metaphors, man. It's like you're taking a road trip, right? Okay. You know where you want to be in your destination.
Yes.
But it's like if you don't go and just get started, the gas is going to burn, you're going to have to fill up again at the next gas station. But until you go, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, so there's music artists out there, right? Yeah. Some are, already made it. Some of them are just on the come up. Ones on the come up, those who are interested, it's like, just go.
Just go, right.
Go. Keep it simple.
Just go.
Just go.
That's what we gotta say. That belongs on a t-shirt. Yeah. Just go.
Just go. Just
do it.
Yeah. Because Simply Rayne is a perfect example of someone who is going.
Thank you.
Not went and stop at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm sorry, my metaphors are really bad, but that's just how I roll with my metaphors. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we don't ever graduate to the next level. Yeah. And that's what I meant by that metaphor. Yeah, I got it. We want to stop by Chuck E. Cheese and play the video games all day.
We don't want to graduate to...
That's sad.
I know. And I don't know. I wouldn't allow myself to do that.
It's not wrong. It's
and you
wrong.
Look back and you're like, dang, because time's going to go by regardless. So it's like, why not spend that time doing something that can get you up to the next level instead of sitting around and then you look back when time has passed and you're like, oh, dang it.
That's when the regrets start coming. That's when would've, could've, should've.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And
exactly.
That's the worst feeling, because when people see other people live their dream, sometimes they just get bitter.
Yeah, you can get bitter.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl that gets bitter. Go. Like, if you don't get anything else from this show, go. Whatever your dream is, go.
Don't be petty.
Stop waiting for something. Yeah.
And
that's a t-shirt.
That's another
Don't
t-shirt.
Don't be petty, just
Hello,
go.
we got like 5 t-shirts. But it's one of those things where God has your journey scoped out the way it needs to be. But you know what they say, if you're not going to help with trying to get to where God wants you to be, then it's just not going to happen, because he's not just going to give it to you. And that's what I got to keep in mind when I'm on this journey. Like, okay, it was written in my destiny ever since I was born that I was going to work with Baby Bash, right? Regardless. Like, I remember being a freshman in high school and Sugar Sugar was my song. Like, I was like, yeah, this is it. Did I know I was going to do a song with him? Like, 4 years later? No, I didn't. Wow. So it's like, that's written in your destiny. And it's if you're meant for something to if something is meant to happen, it's going to happen. But if I didn't push at that age to get to where I've gotten now, it wouldn't have happened. Doesn't mean it wasn't ever written in my destiny. It was. But if I didn't work to get to that point, I would have never gotten to it.
Somebody got to hit the gas, but God can always steer the car. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we want to worry about all the things that could happen.
Ooh, yeah.
And a lot of times that stops us from actually taking the action, because it's one thing to think about writing songs. Yeah. It's another thing to actually do it. Because a lot of times you do something, it may not come out the way you want it to.
That's true.
But at least you did it.
At least you did it, and you got to start somewhere. I mean, you don't just pick up a pen and paper and become an expert at it like that. That
never happened. I mean, have you ever seen a kid just start walking? Just start walking.
I see them walk and fall and then get back up.
Exactly. Because I think a lot of times we have that expectation ourselves, mainly when we're frustrated, when we're not where we want to be.
Oh, yeah.
we're expecting us, like you said, have instant success, instant appreciation from people, or just feedback. But sometimes you just got to take the longer road, because that is more valuable than a shortcut.
And it's gonna feel so good in the future. Like, I know when I'm laying back in my 3-story and I'm like, 3 kids. Oh yeah, that was worth it. Like, hello. Sorry, I can't. Just looking at my future, guys.
And touch that, for the audience out there, because this whole podcast is on refocus. We want to give people something that they can take away.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to be in the music industry.
Okay.
A young girl out there listening to this podcast. Oh, I want to sing one day.
Yeah.
What's some words of wisdom based on your current knowledge of the game? What would you share with that young girl out there?
I say you need to have a strong team. So just finding, like, when I say you need like that strong support behind you, you really do. I'm not saying you can't make it by yourself. You definitely can, but it will always come back around to you need a team. Like, who's that person or people supporting you?
Yeah.
And then I just think it's, no matter what, you want quality stuff. So invest in yourself. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter how, you need to invest in yourself.
One more time.
Invest in yourself. Like, if you want people to look at you and not just bypass it, you need to have quality stuff. Like, it's gonna get you where you want to get. And don't stop. I'm gonna hype it up real quick. It is quality. So we will get some recognition from that.
I gotta drop this real quick.
Go ahead.
I just talked to someone about this
ahead.
last week. If you don't start investing in yourself, see, what happens is we want to invest in other things that we think makes us valuable, but we skip the most valuable thing. That's us.
That is so true.
Because if you're not investing in what you want to do, what you want to be, who else?
No one's gonna invest in you. Exactly.
Because, like you said, when you went to your mom and you said, "I want to sing," and she's like, "Oh, for real?" You had the one to sing.
I had to, and I had to prove it to
you
them.
You couldn't have her sing on stage.
No,
you had to be the one that said, "You know what, I'm gonna do it." Because when someone supports you too, it's accountability.
Yes,
because you can't have a support system.
Yeah.
But you get deflated and wishy-washy.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
So when it comes to clarity, what's something that you see in the future? Simply Rayne, we got music, we got Don't Stop, that's about to drop, we got some acting going on. What's something you want to see in the next 3-6 months?
Oh, goodness, 3-6 months. Well, we're pushing this song. Like we all know the music video is coming soon, but I see, we see some more things happening radio-wise, and I don't know if I can say some of the stuff. Mama's shaking her head no.
You might want to follow her on Instagram for these updates.
But let me just close it off here. I just see a lot more. I'm getting more recognition, basically, from higher people that we've been working for.
We're gonna put it that way, y'all. It's gonna be more levels.
Yes.
If you want to see how much levels she's gonna be going up to, I suggest you follow her at what?
At Simply Rayne on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. SimplyRayne, y'all.
Real quick.
Yes.
What was your first interview ever?
Oh my gosh, I think I remember this. What was it with? No, if we're going back, No,
I mean back.
Yeah,
back. Even if it wasn't professional, like if it was a mock-up.
I think it was, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. It had to have been I was with a company called CMX3 Entertainment when I was like 13 years old. So I'm going to shout them out. What's up?
Nice.
They were kind of like my beginning group of people that...
What y'all talk about?
What did we talk about? It was just... Oh my goodness. You put me on the spot again, I tell you. Honestly, it was about why I'm singing, who do I look up to, and... my latest song, Circles. Actually, okay, I remember. I'm so sorry. It was with CMX Entertainment, but I was actually an interview with an Australian radio, because my song was playing in Australia when I was like 14. Whoa. Circles was. So, yeah, that's my first radio
See, we got someone on the live saying, yo. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope, because basically this is all full circle.
Yeah.
The whole topic today about just go. I mean, we're still going. You know what I'm saying? We're going. Sometimes you got to take breaks. Like right now, hate to say it, y'all, but we're coming towards the end, the second segment.
I got another T-shirt saying real quick before it ends. Go and don't stop. Count it.
Mic
Don't
drop.
stop.
Mic drop.
My song, you guys.
I'm not even touching it. Like it's,
Put it on your t-shirt now.
It's perfect. I don't even have to touch that. I mean, that's the first time we had someone on the show where they just boom.
Thank you.
All right, curtains about to close.
Yes.
Before we have them close, though, I want to say thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on I Am Refocused podcast. And real quick, if you have any shout outs and also how people get in contact with you, they want to book you or talk to your management team.
Yep.
Give us some school on that.
Sure. Y'all trying to get connected with me? admin@simplyrayne.com. That's my email, and you'll get in touch with my management team, and we'll take it from there. admin@simplyrayne.
Perfect. And how can they keep in contact with you again on the website?
So, yeah, I actually have a website, and then we have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can follow me on YouTube as well. Simply Rayne, SimplyRayne. And you guys go stream that song on Apple Music and Spotify. That's really big right now. Please go stream it. Yes, don't stop.
Don't stop listening.
Yes.
To Don't Stop.
Featuring Baby Bash. Yes, sir.
That is what it is. And guess what? We have more breaking news coming up soon, but I can't tell you. You know, we already said we can't tell you.
We can't tell you.
Because you have to do some homework, y'all.
You gotta do
You have to
something.
follow Simply Rayne. You got to take some action.
Yeah,
So
we
if you
need
really want to
action.
see this video and you want to see what she's about to do, let me know. Disney Channel. I'm just playing. But, you know, we're going to call it.
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. HBO.
Hello.
But we're going to stop playing. But like I said, guys, every single week, like we always say, keep God first, stay focused, and peace.
Peace.